A very good morning to you all. I, CA Danya, Vice Chairperson of Palakkad branch of SIRCF ICAI, on behalf of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, ICAI welcomes all the participants in today's webcast on Managing Productivity CAs. I also welcome the speaker of today's session, the resource person, CA Pooja Badia, and the event enablers, CA Mahesh Varghese, Chairman of Palakkad branch of SIRCF ICAI, CA Vishnu Murthy, Secretary, CA Anuja Jayakrishnan, Treasurer, CA Sarin Chandran, SICASA Chairman, and of Palakkad branch of SIRC, and other persons present over here for the event. Chairman and Vice Chairman of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee will be joining us shortly. Now, I invite CA Mahesh Varghese, Chairman of Palakkad branch of SIRCF ICAI, to deliver the objective of the program.
Good morning, Anand. Good morning, Anand. As you all know, this committee is formed for the professional skill enhancement of our members and how to improve our productivity and how to manage our time, etc. So I read out the objective of our professional enrichment committee skills this webinar. Effective time management is crucial and critical for busy chartered accountants. By practicing tasks, leveraging technology, and incorporating smart strategies like delegation, CS can enhance productivity and maintain a healthcare work-life balance. Time is like an arrow. Once left, the bow does not take them back. There are 24 hours a day, just like everyone else. There is no magic to optimize your 24 hours. It's just planning effectively. Management refers to effective utilization of resources. Today's session throws light on how CA can effectively utilize the time for productivity. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Good morning, Pooja ji. Very good morning, all the leaders. Mahesh ji, Danya ma'am, Sarin ji, Anuja ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
We have our Chairman of Professional Enrichment Committee, CA Anuj sir, online. We welcome you, sir, for the session. CA Dr. Anuj Goyal, Central Council Member 2020-25 of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Is a qualified FCA, FCS, FCMA, MCOM, LLB, PhD, DISA, and DIRM holder. Besides that, he's a 6-time Central Council Member, ICAI, since 2004. Chairman, Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, ICAI Chairman. Ethical Standards Board, ICAI. Convener, Publication and CDS Directorate, ICAI. Vice Chairman, Sustainability Reporting Standards Board. Vice Chairman, Taxation Audits Quality Review Board, and member of various non-standing committees of ICAI. He is a dynamic Central Council member who always with the prime objective to serve the members of ICAI at large and always stands with and for the members of ICAI. He had earlier served as the chairman of CIRC of ICAI and in other positions of CIRC of ICAI and chairman in the Ghaziabad branch of CIRC of ICAI before joining to the ICAI session. We welcome you, sir, and please address the gathering.
Thank you very much, CA Danya ji, our event enabler from a very, very prominent Palakkad branch of SIRC. We are having the presence of Pooja Badia ma'am, our star faculty and the resource person, and she basically hails from central region, and now she is there in the southern region. So she is having a dual responsibility to help out the members of the central region as well as southern region. And I welcome Pooja ma'am. And of course, we are having our event enablers, Anuja Jayakrishnan ma'am. We are having Mahesh Varghese ji. And of course, we are having Vishnumurthy RG and CA Sareen Chandran ji from the Palakkad branch of the SIRC of ICI. And we are having Dr. Sambir Misra ji, very, very prominent secretary of this professional skill enrichment committee. And of course, Sri Priya ma'am is not available today, the vice chairperson who is contributing in a great way to really do something concrete for the members of ICI through this professional skill enrichment committee, which is for the first time in the history of the institute came into existence. And I think the best of the accounting professionals of the world, how we can further enrich their skills. I think that is the task which has been given to us, and I'm really grateful to Pooja ji for helping us out in a great way in this endeavor. And today we are having this webcast on managing productivity of chartered accountants, and we are having the presence of thousands of viewers from each and every part of the country, outside the country. I think more than 2,000 chartered accountants are live with us. So I welcome all our delegates from each and every part of the country. We are having CA Suresh Agarwal ji, who has been the chairman of the capital branch of Chhattisgarh, CA Suresh Kumar Agarwal sir. So I welcome Suresh Kumar Agarwal ji also, who has led the profession as the chairman of Raipur branch of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And friends, you are very well aware that I think the chartered accountants generally do have the complaint that time which they are giving to the profession, at times the productivity is not coming, and in the wasteful things the time is spent. So how the time can be invested in a more productive manner? I think this is the thing which Pooja Bhadia ji is going to tell all of us. And friends, we are very well aware that productivity is one of the most important ingredients in a successful business. However, achieving and preserving productivity is not always easy. In the high pressure world of chartered accountants, time is a precious commodity. I think most precious commodity. Balancing demanding deadlines, complex client needs, and the ever-present need for accuracy can feel like a constant battle. But what if you could reclaim control of your workday and unlock a new level of professional effectiveness? And investing in your time management, you can unlock a new level of professional effectiveness. Remember, time management is a continuous journey. Refine your approach as your needs evolve. So I'm quite confident that all of us will certainly see that how we can go through each and every word of Pooja ji, and how we can try to see that how the productivity can be enhanced in the best possible manner. Move beyond basic to-do list, leverage the Eisenhower metrics to categorize tasks by urgency and importance. Focus on high impact activities that drive the most value for your clients and your practice. Don't be caught off guard by the day's demands. Start your workday by crafting a strategic to-do list within your CA task management software. Outline critical tasks, allocate realistic time frames, and schedule dedicated working blocks for focus. Execution can be some of the things which we can really do something in this regard. And multitasking is a myth. Group similar tasks together, such as clients calls or data entry, to minimize context switching and maximize efficiency. This allows for deeper focus and reduces the time wasted on mental transitions. We have seen Prime Minister Modi. We have never seen him multitasking. If he is there, you will find him fully there, concentrating there. So I think one of the things which we can learn from the Prime Minister Modi is that how the productivity can be enhanced by concentrating on that task which is there before you at that time. And friends, modern CA task management software offers a wealth of productivity tools, embrace automation for repetitive tasks, streamline communication with collaborative features, and utilize time tracking to identify areas for improvement. Invest in the technology that empowers you to deliver exceptional value. I think these are the things which are very, very important. Technology is very, very important. Without technology, it is very difficult to improve the productivity. And then working long hours without breaks can lead to burnout and decreased productivity. Schedule short breaks throughout the day to refresh your mind and recharge your energy levels. A well-rested CA is a sharper CA. If a 5 days cricket match, on the 5th day, the productivity may not be the same, which in a 2020 one can have the productivity. So how we can try to see that instead of having very, very long hours, how we can have productive systematic hours, working hours. I think that is very, very important. And track your time for continuous improvement. Utilize time tracking features in your CA task management software to analyze where your time goes, identify areas for improvement, and define your schedule to maximize efficiency and effectiveness. I will not be taking you further time because there are a number of things which we can talk, but we are having the best of the resource persons, Pooja ji, who is helping us out in the best possible manner to see that how the skills of the chartered accountants, who are the best accounting professionals across the globe, can be further enriched, and the productivity of your time is very, very important. So how the productivity can be enhanced, it is very, very important for all of us. So I will not be taking a further time. I will request Pooja Badia ma'am to address, to guide all of us. I once again welcome all our event enablers from Palakkad branch and all our honorable respected delegates from each and every part of the world. And we are having Suresh Kumar Agrawal ji, our honorable past chairman of Raipur branch, as guest of honor. And I'm really grateful to Dr. Sambit Kumar Misra ji for being very, very active and really trying his level best to see that how we can really do something very, very concrete for our honorable chartered accountants who are there not only in our country but in each and every part of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anuj sir, for your valuable words. Now, I invite our Palakkad branch treasurer, C. Anuja Jayakrishnan, to introduce the speaker of today's session, Pooja ma'am.
Respected Chairman of Professional Skills Enrichment Committee of ICI, Central Council Member, CA Anuj Goyal sir, Chairman of Palakkad branch of SARC of ICI, CA Mahesh Varghese, Speaker for the session, CA Pooja Badia, other dignitaries present, and dear members, a very good morning to you all. I'm extremely delighted to introduce the speaker for today's webcast on managing productivity of chartered accountants, CA Pooja Badia. CA Pooja Badia, as a life coach, started her journey way back in the year 2010 when she became a chartered accountant. In 2020 pandemic, her actual journey took a huge turn where she experienced a massive physical transformation doing movement flow with X-Cross Fitness. In 2022, she certified as a life coach with Life by Design. With these few words, I welcome CA Pooja Badia ma'am for the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Anuja ma'am. Now, I invite the speaker of the day, today's session, CA Pooja Badia ma'am, to
Thank you so
take
much.
over the session.
Thank you so much, Tanya ma'am, Anuj sir, Anuja ma'am, Sambit ji, and all the event enablers, Mahesh ji also. And thank you so much for a beautiful introduction. And let's proceed. Just give me a moment. I'll share my screen. Okay, my screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So welcome all to the session for managing productivity and effective techniques for time management. So I think productivity, Anuj sir has spoken a lot about it. So I think he's covered up almost the entire session with a brief introduction of it. But what I'm going to take you through this entire session is just not time management. It's more than time management. When we think about productivity, the only thing that comes to our mind is time. Okay. And we are going to go beyond time. Time happens when, we are able to manage ourselves. And so the whole session is going to be from the perspective of being a life coach. I think that perspective always comes in how to manage ourselves better and the most effective way. So that's where I'm going to take you through. So let's proceed. The simple recipe to happiness. Okay, the simple recipe to happiness is to find something that you can love. Find something to love. Find something that is your passion. Find something that you love doing. It could be a hobby, it could be a passion, it could be food, whatever it could be. Just find something to love. Find something you truly hope for or you desire for, because what you truly desire, your goals, is what will truly make your life purposeful, and that purpose automatically brings happiness. And find something to do. I think that's where the whole productivity comes in. Find something to do. And the entire session we are going to go through and stick to these three principles, which is LDH: something to love, something to do, and something you hope for. I really hope that all of you leave everything aside, because as Anuj sir also mentioned, that productivity is all about quality time and focused time and not multitasking. So leave all your work aside and put pure focus into this session so that you can enrich much more than what you could have otherwise. Okay, these are the concepts that I'm going to take you through. Purpose, meeting management, story, master effective ways of productivity, time management matrix, Pareto analysis, tools and resources, and mind mapping. Okay, the first thing let's begin with is meeting management. Now, when we talk about a meeting management, why I have this as my first slide is because we started with a purpose, right? It all begins with a purpose. What is the purpose? Why have we all gathered here today for this webcast? To understand how to manage our productivity. So purpose is a well-defined purpose, which is pre-intimated to the audience that you are conducting the meeting for, and that masters productivity, because when the purpose is clear, they know why they are there for, and they know what they need to get, and that's why they know that they know that particular time and leave other things aside. After purpose comes the agenda. Like I already shared in the previous slide, the concepts and the agenda that I'm going to take you through, and the time frame. Time frame is very important. As you all know, the time frame is already given to you. It's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we will stick to that same time frame. And the agenda is based on the time frame. The purpose should be evaluated based on the agenda and the time frame. And throughout the session, throughout the time frame, that purpose should be kept in mind. That's how effective meeting management can be done to master productivity. Now, most often we all come across this bad news. We all think, and the most talked about sentence through our day is, our time flies. Agree with it? I'm sure that all of you agree. If you agree with it, you can put in a small message, agree, in the chat box, just a word agree. That we all talk about time flying. We all say that we don't have time and time just flies. We just don't have the time for it. And that's the bad news, right? But that's just the bad news. We will come back to the good news through the end of the session. So stay true and stay put. There is no such thing as time management. There is only self-management. This is one of my favorite sentences to talk about, because we are always complaining about time. We're always focusing about, how can we make time effective? How can we, get over that issue and that problem of time? But the only thing that we need to work on is self-management. If you work on self-management, the entire time management falls in place. I'm going to share a story of my life. For most of you who would have already attended my previous webinars and webcasts for the PSEC would have understood that stories are very important. Stories stay with us. So please keenly listen to a story. Why I feel like sharing a personal story from my own life is because every story begins with a struggle. It has a solution, and then that solution leads to success. So when we think about a story, we only talk about struggles. We fail to understand that if there was a struggle at any point of time, there was a solution and there was a success also. So I'm going to take you through my story of life. Story of my life, as you all know, already mentioned in my introduction. I was a chartered accountant by profession, transitioned into being a certified life coach, master trainer, and energy healer. Through life took me through various twists and turns where I actually had to, embrace what the true purpose of my life was. Now, to embrace the true purpose, I was aware that this is my purpose, this is my passion, this is my ikigai, but the world wasn't aware, right? And so the transition takes time. And the time that the transition takes, a lot of fears, a lot of doubts, all of that fall in place. So when we talk about time management, when we learn to manage self, Now, when I established my career in the form of a life coach and an energy healer, and I found my own brand, the Blissful Navigator, it wasn't easy because I was always pressed with time, pressed with pressure, pressed with clients, pressed with a lot of things because I was single-handedly doing everything. That's when I realized the importance that the struggle the struggle that was actually there was in managing myself. I was not able to manage myself. And with that understanding, I worked on the solution. So what was the solution? The solution was that I understood was first I need to say no. I need to understand the importance of saying no, which I began. And saying no is okay. I need to understand that it's just not about saying no, but also managing myself in terms of routine, managing myself in terms of prioritizing what is important for me and letting go what is unimportant and urgent for me, not urgent for me. So once I started decluttering my life, we all like a decluttered life, but we're always living in the clutter. So once I started decluttering my life, automatically the struggle fell in place with solution. With that solution, I could lead by example. I could teach more people to declutter their lives. And when your life seems decluttering in the physical, mental, and emotional way, automatically the path that you're truly destined for, the purpose of your life, the highest good, that automatically falls in place. And you are led with that path. So with my example, I could lead more people. I could lead more people to say no. I could transform more people with the Blissful Navigator. And that's where I understood that self-management is the key. When you learn something to do, when you learn to find something to do for yourself, when you learn to find something to love for yourself and to find something that you truly hope for yourself, everything falls in place. Time makes itself. The presence of time will come to you. You don't have to run behind time. Time will just be there for you to do everything that you want to do. So my dear friends, I'm going to take you through self-management that I did for myself. And with that, you can also begin your self-management. Now, all of you see a set of two triangles over here, a pyramid, right? The top of the pyramid in the order of management, I have put the word yourself. Now, always we need to understand that we are always making time for other people. When there is probably, there is a function or there is a birthday party or there is a professional engagement that we have, we immediately say yes to it. But when it comes to ourselves, we put ourselves in the last. That's where the entire struggle becomes. That's why the entire struggle falls in place. So first we need to understand that we are equal to ourselves first. You is equal to you before you becomes to equal to others, before you is equal to work. When we start giving importance to the you in us, it's not selfish to, give importance to the you, because if you are not going to be healthy, if you're not going to be fit mentally and emotionally, how would you be able to give your time to others? Even if you're giving your time by multitasking, the quality is missing. And always choose quality over quantity, because your presence will not matter unless you are fully present in that moment. But when you manage yourself, when you put yourself, you equals to you fill your cup. If this is a cup, you're able to fill your cup fully for yourself, and then that cup is ready to fill other people, to fill your work, to fill your personal, social, and your professional work engagements. So all of it will be taken care of when you just focus on the first part of it, which is you. You is equal to you. Now, now we always struggle to find the time. It's always easy to say, focus on you is equal to you. But that's where the struggle, I told you, if there is a struggle, there is a solution. And if we focus on the solution and work on it, struggle will fall in, success will fall in place. So how did I find time for myself? I dedicated a prime time for myself. And how did I find the prime time? We all have a morning, evening, late night, afternoon, so many time availabilities for ourselves. Now we need to find a dedicated time for ourselves that we work best. Now for me, the best time that works for me is Brahma Muhurat. When I wake up at 4:35 in the morning, or say sometimes at 4 o'clock also, sometimes at 3:45, depending on what engagement or work I have for my own self, how I need to start my day, I plan my day. Somewhere between 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, whatever time that suits me best at that day, I wake up at that time. And that time I focus completely on myself. I don't take any calls. I don't attend any meetings. I don't do anything at that time. I take out time for myself. I just probably sit with a cup of coffee with myself, or eat my banana, or just do something that I like to do. Just listen to music, or just watch the nature, or just write something or read something. So that particular time of the day is the most productive hour of the day for me. Now, for some people, that morning hour may not work because they sleep late in the night and then they want to wake up late. So find out what time in the evening works for you. Find out what time in the night works for you. Whichever time works best for you, which enhances your productivity, which makes you feel full in yourself, When I say enhances your productivity, it should make you feel full. It should complete that you is equal to you for the day. Then you're ready and completely willing to give it to other people in the entire scenario of your work or your social life or your family life. Right? So find that personal prime time based on your body rhythm. Do not follow a set time which everybody follows, because everybody's body clock is different. Everybody's body rhythm is different. Understand the rhythm, what works for you best, and put that in your cycle and start giving that me time to yourself, where you is equal to only you and nobody else. So that's how I found time for myself, and I hope that you will be able to do that as well for yourself. Let's talk about the 20-20-20 rule. As I said, when I wake up in the morning, I dedicate that 1.5 hours for myself to do the things that I like to do. So for people who don't know how to structure that, you can follow the 20-20-20 rule. What is the 20-20 rule? First 20 minutes, the first hour of the day, whichever, if you wake up at 6, 6 to 7, if you wake up at 4, 4 to 5, if you wake up at 10, 10 to 11, whichever is the first hour of your day, dedicate 20 minutes for self-reflection. Self-reflection is nothing but introspection. When you learn to introspect on a regular basis, I think most of your learnings come from, when I say introspect and journaling, it's more about what went through in your day and how you were able to overcome certain situations, sort of a record that you can come back to it whenever you feel like, no, I'm not finding time. You can read that particular page and you can understand that I was able to overcome this. And when I was able to overcome at this point of time, I can do so even now. Okay, it could be that reflection, or reflection on your work, reflection on your personal life, reflection on your health, reflection on your learnings, whatever you want to reflect upon. Next 20 minutes on exercise, which is a very, very important factor. Again, the exercise could be 20 minutes is just not enough, ideally, I would say. But if you put 20 minutes every single day, it's enough. So say for 2-3 days in a week, I give 20 minutes to cardio. For 2 to 3 days in a week, I give 20 minutes for movement flow. For 2 to 3 days, I give, say, possibly, mobility and flexibility exercises. So exercise in any form, whatever suits you the best, give yourself 20 minutes every single day, and then it becomes enough. And then 20 minutes for learning, because learning is the key. When I say learning, I also mean unlearning and relearning. I think the most important learning as lifelong learners is to learn how to unlearn and learn how to relearn. So we all come with the mindset that we know everything, but know it all doesn't actually get you success. It only keeps you in the struggle and phase, finding a solution. If you truly want to get success from the struggles of your life to come to success, the solution is in unlearning and relearning. So 20-20-20 rule, 20 minutes of reflection, 20 minutes of self-exercise, and 20 minutes of self-learning. That's going to be your first hour of the day. Let's learn how to master effective ways of productivity now. So let's talk about work environment. Now, when we talk about work environment, our place that we are working from, like right now, if I'm sitting, if you can see there's no background, on my table, there is no clutter, absolutely. It's just me, the mouse pad, the laptop, and all of you together. Our workplace should be clutter-free. Whatever you need in handy, keep it in that place. Rest, keep it in a cabinet, well placed, less of noise levels, proper lighting, because lighting creates a very good impact. I love to light candles. So I always, on my study and my work table, there will be a candle. Whenever I sit to work, I light up that candle. And I like to sit in dim lights, because I work best in dim lighting or yellow lighting or just a lamp by my side. Whatever works for you. So find what works for you, what lighting works for you, how clutter free your space works for you. Do you want greenery in your space? Do you want to be inspired by nature? Do you want to be inspired by to-do list and your affirmations for the day, or whatever you want to put in a workboard? Find the ways that work best for you, and most importantly, be comfortable in your workspace, because you spend enhanced workload. We're always feeling overwhelmed, right? So overwhelm becomes a resistance. We fail to start our journey because we are so overwhelmed in our journey. How will we do everything all at one place? I was very overwhelmed when And then when you go to the medium part of it, it builds more confidence. And then the hard actually doesn't feel hard. It's become easy because 80% of the work is done in the easy and medium. So the hard is only 20%. And then you see, and then you're not overwhelmed because it's only that little chunk that is left. So when you put it down into the LCDs, the least chunky details, automatically your workload and task complexity fade away. And this 80-20 principle starts to apply, which I'm going to take you through again. And we start saying no to non-productive tasks. So when you feel overwhelmed with effective volume-based tasks that are in your hand, which do not require so much of your energy, which can be delegated, start saying a no. I think this no factor helped me a lot in my journey. Now, every time when I feel that this is not so important, I am able to say a no. Now, again, this not so important to me, maybe so important to somebody else. So it varies from person to person. And when I'm going to take you through the management matrix, I'm going to tell you more about it. Pareto principle. What exactly is the Pareto principle? It's the 80-20 principle. We always say that if a task is 100%, and if we keep focusing on the 100%, we are focusing all our energy in everything which is not required. Rather, divide it into an 80 and 20 rule, where we see that 20% of your task produces 80% of your result. Maximum time you will experience this. So focus 80% of your time on 20% rather than focusing 20% of your time in the important 80%. Find important 20% for you and put in your energy. When I say not when your energy, 80% of your time in 20% of the work, leave 20% of your time for the other work. So clearly the 80-20 principle works in life when you put it to use rightly. Now we all choose the 20%. So we've understood that we need to choose the 20%, but focusing on the 20% which is right for us, that is called smart working. And hence that will lead you to smart time management and self-management. This is the time management matrix. I'm sure that most of you would have come across this many times, called the Eisenhower matrix or the time management matrix by Stephen Covey. How to use this matrix in the first place? So first, what you should do is close your eyes and write down a list of things. If all of you are following me with this, I'll give you 2 minutes. While I'm talking about it, you can close your eyes and think of a few things. Sit with a notepad and pen. If you don't have a notepad and pen, just arrange a notepad and pen and copy this matrix. Start thinking of any thoughts. Just close your eyes and let your mind wander. Let it think of anything. Don't judge yourself with, whether this is important or not. Is this embarrassing? It's a very big secret of my life that I'm thinking I can't put it down on paper, or should I even think about it? It's so irrelevant. Don't judge yourself on any of these bases. Just sit and write down. When I say that me time, right? U is equal to you time that you take out 20 minutes in the morning. You can do this activity for at least about 21 days, where you sit with that U is equal to you, me time. And in that time, you just write down a set of like maybe 10 to 20 pointers of the thoughts that are occurring to you at that point of time. After you write down those thoughts, you can categorically think and go through those points and think of it in terms of important or not important. Okay, so when I say important and not important, important is when it is important to you. Not important is when it is not important to you. It may be important to other people. That's not your problem that it's important to other people. Right now, we are going to focus on importance. If it is important to me, I will write down I beside that point. If it's not important to me, I will write down NI beside that point. Okay. If you're all there with me, just say yes in the chat box. Okay. Next part of it, the same list of things that you wrote down as your thoughts, the same 20 pointers. Now we are going to channelize it on the basis of urgency. Is it urgent or is it non-urgent? Okay. If it is urgent, I will put a U beside it. If it is not urgent, I will put an NU beside it. Now, if all of you have all the 20 tasks with only I and you written in it, which means that you have not done this activity in the right way because you have been judgmental about the thoughts that are coming to you, and you've only penned down those thoughts that which are important and urgent. I would like you to remove that judgment, throw it away, and only focus on writing whatever is flowing in your mind in the flow. Okay, so we have different combinations and permutations. First is quadrant 1. Second is important and not urgent, which belongs to quadrant 2. Third is not important and urgent, which belongs to quadrant 3. And fourth is not important, not urgent, which belongs to quadrant 4. Okay. So now we talk about the 4 quadrants. I've given here a set of examples for all of you. Now, these set of examples may differ from people to people. I have written down in a very generalistic way. What comes in the second quadrant is as important and not urgent from what I have written, may be in the first quadrant for each of you. What I have written in the fourth quadrant may come in the second quadrant for all of you. What comes in the first quadrant for you may become the third quadrant for you. So don't go by my example. This is just a guideline. This is just to help you out in understanding how you need to categorize it. Okay. Now, the first quadrant. We start with the fourth quadrant. The fourth quadrant says not important, not urgent. These are the tasks which do not require our time, which do not require our energy, which do not require us to focus at it at any point of time. But we will find that most often we are bogged down with these thoughts, which are not important and not urgent, and it starts occupying place in our brain. Now, how do we get rid of these thoughts? First, by identifying. When we start to identify it, we already have brought it to our awareness. When we brought this to our awareness, we are prepared to get relieved of these thoughts. The moment it comes to our awareness, we are in the right space of mind to get released out of these thoughts. So what do I do usually is, this is a homemade technique that I've created for myself, because I feel that our thoughts, words, and actions need to be aligned for anything to happen. So if in my thoughts, I am thinking, this is not important, not urgent, I want to let go of it. If it in my words, I'm saying dump it now. When I say dump it now, it's dump it now, in the now moment. Not later, not before, in the present, in the now moment, I'm going to dump these thoughts. So in my thoughts, I have said, it is not important, not urgent, there is no place for it in the brain. In my words, I have said it, these need to go to the dump it now, right now in the dustbin. In my action also, I need to show the same. So what I will do with these thoughts is, every morning, say when I'm doing this exercise, or every night before I go to bed, when I'm doing this exercise, I will simply take my hand, and this is an activity I want everybody to focus upon. And if you're watching this with full focus and full engagement, do this activity along with me, where you're just taking this as if you're just like pulling something out from your brain with all that pressure and force, and just putting it down as if you don't want it at all. It's going in the dustbin, a dustbin that you have created, an imaginary dustbin in your own space, which you carry along with you as far as you go. Okay, so this imaginary dustbin is going to help you release your thoughts time and again by this activity. Say 5 times from my left brain and 5 times from my right brain. One part of my brain is creative, one part of my brain is logical. So both the brains I need to release out of the matter that is just not important and needs to go right now in the dump it now category. Okay, so not urgent, not important, all of these things, it may vary from people to people, goes. Now, when I have put it today in the dustbin, be mindful that when I do the same activity tomorrow, these same things should not be repeated. When you start as a fresher doing this activity, maybe 1 or 2 days, these will keep coming back to you. Do not get worried with it. Do not stress out with it. It's okay. You release it twice, you release it thrice. Some thoughts require more than one attempt to dump it. And that's okay. Over a period of time, you will see that the more you're doing this declutter activity, your thoughts that are dumped now will never occur back to you again. You getting my point? And if you feel that these thoughts need to be there, but they need not be dumped, then you have placed it in the wrong category. Like, for example, I have put excessive TV here. Maybe that is not something that you don't want it ever. You want it, but now you may not want it. So that will not come in the fourth quadrant. You get my point? That will come in the second quadrant because it's important, but not urgent. Maybe it's important for you to watch the TV to, get yourself in the right frame of mind. So I'll not put it in this quadrant. So this is how you analyze which quadrant your thoughts are going to go for. Okay. Now let's understand the third quadrant. So I'm sure that all of you understood that fourth quadrant is dump it now, where you will take it with all that energy and put it down from both the sides of your, now it may seem like, I'm doing some stupid actions, but trust me, this works because this has worked for so many people, so many professionals, so many students, so many homemakers, everybody, and everyone who has done this, even now they text and tell me that, this has worked miracles in my life, where I'm really able to declutter myself, because it takes time and we need to give that time to ourselves. It just doesn't happen overnight, right? So when I say make time to make your productivity stronger, and this making time is spending that me time for yourself. Again and again, I'm going to highlight something you do, something you love, and something to hope for will always make you organize your manage yourself fully so that your time is preciously not wasted, rather it is utilized and prioritized in the right way. Okay, so let's talk about the third quadrant, which is the not important and the urgent quadrant. Now, many times things may not be important to us, but they're important to the people surrounding us, our family. When the date comes, when the due date comes for filing, we have to put our energy there. So we don't have to do it. We can organize it. We can delegate it. Okay. Now, when we say delegate it, if you're going to delegate in the future, say, I will delegate it, but later, it's going to keep coming to your mind and keep occupying the brain space of yours. So if you want to not let it occupy that brain space of yours and free up the space to do the more important and urgent work, what should you do? You should delegate in the present moment. The moment that thought comes up, the moment that task comes up, immediately I will find someone and delegate it. So in my thoughts, I have delegated to somebody. In my words, I am speaking it out and delegating it to somebody in the now moment. And in my actions, I just pick it up and put it left, right, back, center, anywhere, wherever I feel like. I'm not going to put it in the dustbin, because the moment I put it in the dustbin, it goes in the dump it now category. And as our thoughts relate to our actions, so does our actions. Constantly when we do some action, it becomes a part of you and your mind gets the signal. So if you're going to put it down, your mind is going to get a signal, this goes and dump it now, and then your due date is lost and the client is coming and complaining to you, and all of that hassle will happen. You don't want to go through that hassle, right? So you do this very carefully. When it comes to delegate it now, just put it. When I say put it like this, you just don't put it in the air. When you're putting it in your thoughts, you say who you're putting it to. In your words, you communicate it to that person. So important that we think we have delegated it, but communication never happened. So our not important urgent task has gone in the dump it now, basically, without even us putting it in the dump it now. So communication is again the key. I hope if you're all with me and you're getting this, just put time in the chat box so that I know that all of you are following me. Yes. Okay. The second quadrant, which is again I think it's important for me to talk about this quadrant, because there are some things which are important and not urgent. Because we think it's important, we always keep them in our mind and it keeps occupying our mental space. Now, if it is important for me and it's not urgent to be done now, as a human being, as a layman, I would just procrastinate it. I'll do it later. It's not urgent right now, no, it's to be done later. I will procrastinate. It goes in that resistance zone where I'm just procrastinating. The time never comes when I fulfill it. So I would say a better way to choose this important and not urgent is decide now. You decide in the now moment, when will you do it later? So what I'm doing right now is, right now I can't do it because it's not urgent. Right now, I don't want to think about it because it is not urgent. Right now, I want to focus on what is important and urgent to me. So what I do, I will put a date. Okay, I will put a deadline. Okay, I will automatically, my mind will give me a signal that the date is nearing. It's maybe 5 days before, or 15 days before, whenever it feels important, that now you need to focus on this. So I usually tell myself this. I put a deadline, I pick it up from the front part of my head and I just put it back. Say if it's 1 month, I'll put it here. If it's 5 months, I'll put it here. If it's 1 year, I'll put it down. So what I do is I categorize my brain and put what is to be done in different parts of it. It's a very, very, very practical, very effective technique. And I'm sure that once you start doing this with a 21-day practice, you will get the hang of it, where morning, evening, night, you will be like, okay, this is not important, dump it now. You'll just start doing actions. You won't even have to say. And your actions will start speaking in your mind and your mind will start working in that direction. Right? So decide now when to do it later. For example, for me, personal development is very important, but I'm already knowing that these are the things I'm doing for myself. So more personal development, if I want, I can push it to not urgent. Maybe after a year or so, I will, give into more learning. For what I have learned, let me practice that, and I will put in after a year, I want more learning. So in my thoughts, in my words, in my actions, I put it here, saying that before that 1 year arrives, you remind me. It's simple like an alarm clock. I always like to, tell my pillow and sleep that wake me up at this time. And usually just 15 minutes or 5 minutes before that time frame, my pillow will wake me up and my eyes will open up. And I'll be like, it's not even time now because it's woken up. You 5 minutes or 15 minutes. I'm sure that a lot of you who follow this will understand what I'm trying to say. And if you've never followed it, practice this magic pillow technique. It works beautifully. Again, so the time frame is very important. Decide now when you will do it later. Okay. The next quadrant is important and urgent. This is all of us want to be here, right? We want to do all the things that are important and urgent, but life is working differently for us. It's not always putting us, it's always putting us to test where we need to learn to delegate, we need to decide when to do it later, and we need to dump it now. So when life is putting you to a test, it's up to you. With this matrix, you can pass that test by channelizing your thoughts, words, and actions in the right direction. Okay, so when we did dump it now, we put it in an imaginary dustbin. When we are saying delegate it now, we are putting it wherever it is required for all of us, right? When we are talking about the second quadrant, which is not urgent and which is important but not urgent, we are putting it here where we need to put it. So now we have cleared so much space from the most important part of it, which is the do it now. For this, my action is always, if a thought comes to you, which is important and urgent, I'm just going to put my finger and put a pause button here so that it stays. The moment it comes, I put it here. Many of us, I wouldn't say all of us, but many of us, when we are stressed out or when we feel that, things are not working out for us, we start sitting like this, or we start sitting like this, or we start doing this, like our head is aching. But trust me, for all of us, whoever have done this for at any point of time, it's not helped us for sure. It's not that the task or that stress has disappeared completely. Rather, it starts building up more. So I would say for things and thoughts and tasks that make that feeling come to you, dump them, delegate it, or decide now when to do it later. But things and thoughts and tasks that need your attention, importantly and urgently, fix them in your mind frame now. Put a pause button to it like this. This should be your new mantra. Do it now. So for everything, we don't need to do it now, right? So now when we are procrastinating or we are, not working because we are not perfect, or, we're not giving importance to progress over perfectionism, all of these resistance blockages we can get over with this declutter matrix, where we learn to prioritize. And if we have not done this now, we can tell ourselves, this is not my priority, and hence I'm not doing it. And hence it's okay to say no, right? It's not okay to say no to something which is important and urgent, but it's okay to say no for the other three categories. So now saying no is not even coming out of guilt, but it's coming out of high self-esteem. So your self-esteem gets a big raise automatically. With this, we have done with our time management matrix, which I also call as the declutter matrix, which is my most favorite matrix. I think most of my life's challenges, most of my clients, my life's challenges, and other people in, whoever come with me with an issue, I feel that, if you follow this in your life for 21 days, this will become a part of you, a part and parcel of you. It will no more be a task. It will become who you are, and you will start doing this. In your head space, you will start dumping it, delegating it, deciding now, and doing it now. You wouldn't have to need a pen and a paper to actually do this. So this matrix is by Stephen Covey, and by far one of the best things that, we can learn for ourselves. Okay. Now we learned the Pareto principle, the 80-20 principle, and we understood that 20% needs to be given time to, right? And we understood how to make time for that 20% with our time management matrix. Now that we have understood that we have a do it now category, which is your important and urgent, let's go and do it. So when we go and do it, again, we start feeling overwhelmed, but there is so much to do. How do I do it? So this overwhelming feeling can be overcome by the Pomodoro technique. What does the Pomodoro technique actually talk about? Pomodoro technique is about identifying a task that needs to be completed. We've already identified the task. Yes, we've already identified the task in the do it now category in our time management matrix. Now this task, how effectively we can productively utilize it and do it and accomplish it is by following the Pomodoro technique, which is a 25-minute work 5-minute break. 25-minute work, 5-minute break. Again, 25-minute work and 5-minute break. Follow this for four times, 4 slots. Okay, by then 25, 25, 25, 25 with all 5-minute breaks included, you would have completed 2 hours of your work without even realizing that you worked for 2 hours. Time will just start to literally work in fast pace for you because you are efficiently working and you're not complaining because you're giving yourself those deserved 5 minutes as a break time. Okay, so these 25 minutes that you're productively given your quality rather than your quantity. People like to work at a stretch for 2 hours, 3 hours. Instead of doing that, you work 25 minutes, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes, 5 minutes break. By the time we finish 2 hours, we are now prepared for a 30-minute break. You can take a 25 to 30-minute break where all that you have worked for, you are actually relaxing. Now, when I say this break, I'm not saying completely let go of what you're doing or completely just go and sleep. No, for some people, break may be sleeping, for resting. For some people, it may be meditation. For some, it may be just, drinking water and just taking a walk around or doing some flexibility movement exercises. For some, it may be, just listening to music. Just find your 30-minute break. Whatever works for you again, put it in your Pomodoro technique. 25-minute, 5-minute, 25-minute, 5-minute. By the time you finish 2 hours, you deserve a 30-minute break. When you tell yourself you deserve a 30-minute break, you will give quality to your break also. You will not be handling multiple things at that time. Okay, so when you follow a structured approach in your productive day that you want out of your, the productivity that you want out of your day, this structured approach will enhance and master your productivity. Instead of focusing on quantity, you will start qualitatively doing things. Which task would have taken you 5 hours to do? Probably with this method, it will take you only 2 hours to do. And you get to enjoy a 2.5 hour with breaks. And you save 2.5 hours of your time. Isn't that a beautiful way to start and end your day and utilize your productive day? If you're with me and you feel that this technique is very productive and you are going to commit yourself to do it, write Pomodoro in the chat box for me. Okay, health and well-being. Now we are constantly talking about time management. We are constantly talking about different techniques to how to you effectively utilize all of this. We need to understand that your physical and your mental well-being both are of equal importance. When I say physical and mental well-being, it's not all work and no play. It's not all play and no work. It should have a perfect harmony. Okay, so rest, exercise, eating habits, stress management contribute to sustained productivity levels. All of these activities that help you focus on your work-life harmony should become a part of your day-to-day routine. Especially drink a lot of water. I'm going to take that small break and drink water. I also recommend that whenever you sit in your workplace, whether your table has anything or not, it should have a notepad, a pen, and a bottle of water and a glass or a cup for yourself because it keeps you hydrated and keeps your mental well-being at pace. Okay, motivation and engagement. Now, when we talk about workplace, okay, the work environment, employee motivation is very, very important. As a chartered accountant, okay, we work extreme hours at times. When there are deadlines to be taken, we are always complaining that we are working from morning till 12 in the night, 2 in the night, sometimes midnight. There is no working hours. We are working as and when the client keeps coming to us. So we need to understand that to retain our employees and to enhance their productivity, we need to constantly motivate them. Now, how do we motivate them? By organizing seminars for them, by organizing play days for them. When I say play days, it's more about where you're just not working, you're just enjoying yourselves. You're just allowing themselves to bring out the child within them outside. Or maybe just about recognizing their efforts. Have these days when you are appreciating them or guiding them with what are their goals and how they have achieved their goals, and monitoring their progress and recognizing that monitored progress. That is again a very important ideation that we should all follow in our workspace, where we give them regular workshops, regular learnings, regular unlearnings, regular declutter days, where we allow them to declutter mentally, emotionally, and physical space. We organize meditation sessions for them. We do a lot of recognition for them, where we make them feel very important. Okay, so we make them feel that we want to make them feel that it's their company. We want to make them take pride and ownership in what they're doing, and that pride, and ownership will fall in place when we recognize them, when we constantly are working towards their motivation and their mental well-being. Okay. Communication and collaboration. Like I always say, most of our problems can be solved with communication. If you've decided to delegate, but you have not communicated, it won't happen. If you've decided that you want to network and collaborate with someone, but you've not communicated that to the people that you want to do it with, and you've gone and you socialize with them and come back and then you say no opportunity came in, it wouldn't work. So if you want to manage your time productively, there is only limited time that we have that we can give to people, say a social network or a networking place that we are going to, that particular time frame. I feel that we all need to communicate. Okay, so communication should be your prime way to enhance your productivity. Take regular feedbacks from your own self, from your own progress monitoring channels that you put up for yourself, and from people around you, because everybody's perspective is important. Okay, then efficient workflow and problem solving. Training and skill development. Like I said, continuous learning and skill development will master your productivity, not only for your employees, but also for yourself, unlearning, relearning, and skilling and upskilling yourself. In terms of the era that we are in, every day there is a transition happening. Every day we are moving one notch up from where we were. If we want to come from that one notch up to a 5 notch up, or if we want to establish our practice 10 times better than what it was earlier, we need to train and skill develop. When I say train and skill develop, it is not only with technical skills, with life skills, with soft skills, with every possible skill that is we can learn, which will enhance and increase our productivity. That could be online learning, AI, understanding of AI, learning of how to use right prompts for ChatGPT to save your time, how to make your presentation. There is so much that is available. There are so many sessions that are available these days. So focus on organizing a single day, at least in a week, where you are just letting your employees and yourself to upskill. Maybe a certain dedicated hours will bring in commitment to upskill. We do it once and then we don't do it, then we are not showing commitment to our work. So making this a policy in your company to organize regular workshops and sessions time to time, and making sure that you also attend it along with them, adds more value to it. So continuous learning will give you skill enhancement. Okay, work-life harmony. This is again a topic altogether where we can, we can just go on and on about this topic, but I'm going to give you a brief about this, that when we talk about work all the time and we are not giving ourselves the time to live that work, why are we working? We are working not to just live, not to just have a life, right? We're working to live that life also. So when we are focusing on just working, we're only making a life for ourselves. But where is the time left to live the life? So it's important to dedicatedly take out time to live the life that we are working for. Whatever money we are making or whatever work engagements we are in it, we should also take out that time for leisure and enjoying that work. Okay. So ideally, I say do what you love or love what you do, so that you never have to worry about work-life harmony. But many of us are not in the zone where we are doing what we love. We have not yet found our ikigai. We've not yet combined our passion, purpose, vision, and our mission, all of it, vocation. So if we learn to combine all of that, work-life harmony will fall in place, because we're always doing what we love. So we are having a meditative life all the time. But for all the laymen, we are in a state where we have not understood that we may be doing something. See, we all have different ways of working, right? So we may do something for our profession and something for our passion, and we like to keep it different. So be it. If you like to keep it different, learn to bring in harmony. Okay, because burnout will lead to exhaustion, and it's not only going to lead to exhaustion and lead to negative impact in the long run, but also ruin your family life, ruin your social life. So when you go back home, you should be fully at home. When you go back to work, you should be fully at work, given here and there time for extremities to work taken place. Where something important matter comes up, then we need to focus on that. But rest of the time, working hours are for work, and family hours are for family hours, and me time hours are for me time. Nobody disturbs me in that. So that allocation of time is very important when we talk about work-life harmony. How do we move from balance to harmony? You must have noticed that I didn't speak about work-life balance, but I spoke about work-life harmony. Because we are always stuck in balance. We are always working on to build a balance, a balancing scale. What happens is we start our work itself with focusing and our aim being balance. Now understand that that balance itself becomes our resistance. We are not able to move ahead in life because balance, to get that balance in the initial state is very hard. We need to work a lot to get that balance. But if our focus is balance in the beginning, that becomes our resistance and starts holding us back, becoming a roadblock and obstacle in our work-life environment. So rather, I would say, instead of getting bogged down with achieving a balance, honor your hard work and your journey towards that balance. So just start where you are. Even if you've done 80%, just go, just do it. Okay, don't start for balance. Like if your example, say I want to start working on my health because I want to maintain a work-life harmony. I'm always constantly working and I need to start focusing on my health. And when I think about health, there are two important factors in health. One is diet, which constitute 80% of our health, and 20% are physical workout. Now when we start our focusing on our health, we focus on both the things at once. And we think, okay, when I start a diet, I will start working out. Okay, when I start working out, I will start a diet. And because of that one dependency on the other, we are not able to start only. We are just stuck at zero level. Most of the time this happens with us. It has happened with me many times. And then I'm like, just chuck the balance, just chuck everything and start working towards the harmony. Where what I'm doing is, even if I can start with a 20-minute workout every single day, let me start. Even if it's a walk, let me just make a start. When I start doing that, automatically that importance of health will keep coming to me and I will be able to focus on my diet. Automatically, I'll start focusing and eating right. So eating right will fall in place. I don't have to actually put my energy there. So start your journey and allow yourself to return to that balance. The idea is stop chasing balance, aim for harmony. And harmony will come to you when you just make that start. Balance will come and harmony will also come. So stop chasing balance, because if you're chasing balance, you will be stuck in a rut all the time. Okay. Technology and automation. Leveraging technology and automation can streamline repetitive tasks. This is a very important part in the session, because all of our life we've been working, we all started with the old school method where you used to write on paper and pen. Now, most of the people don't write using a pen and paper. They either write on their iPads or they just type it out in their phone, in their laptops, in their screens. We don't even write. When I actually ask a few people whom I'm working with, they don't even write. They just put a prompt in ChatGPT and everything is written and they just copy paste. They don't even want to write down a word. Even that single word or that single sentence, they want to take it from ChatGPT. That's how our technology has made us. That's how the automation has made us. And it's not wrong. It's okay to go with the flow, because that's making our work easier. And if anything is making our work easier, it is enhancing our productivity. Yet I still like to be old school. I still sit with a paper and pen and a diary and I still write, because that's what I love. But that doesn't mean that I will not update myself with technology or I would not go for automation. Okay, so automate your practices, automate your work so that you can get more clients to work with, so that you can get more work to work with. Collaboration will become easy. You can sit at a place and work anywhere that you want to work with. So leveraging technology and automation can definitely streamline your repetitive task and increase productivity. I don't have to type it again and again. I don't have to write it again and again. There is no copy paste option when I write in a paper, on a paper. But if I'm typing it out on a screen, I can copy, paste and avoid repetition. I can just keep reusing it. That's the beauty. So make the most, learn technology. Like I said, learning and skill enhancement should be your top goals and should be a part of your employee engagement and your own self-engagement, because this will lead to a very productive environment. Okay. However, as I said again, it's essential to balance automation with human oversight to ensure quality and effectiveness. Whatever and however technology is, it cannot take over the human brain and the emotion. So wherever you feel the need, keep a check on it. It should not overpower you. You should not let your technology overpower you and control you. You should always hold the control towards your technology. So let your automation be to an extent where the control is still with you. Okay. Tools and resources. Having the right tools boost your productivity. Like I said, finding the right tools. Like for example, the time management matrix tool has been my forever tool since I don't know how many years, I can't even recall. That's one of the only methods which I would suggest you to do it on pen and paper and not do it online, because it's an old school method, but it's okay to take that along with you and combine it with your technology. So outdated tools slows your task, modern ones streamline process like we discussed. So we can't always keep working on outdated tools, but if we are not leveraging and upskilling our growth, we will always be stuck to the outdated tools. So if you really want to move from outdated tools to modern tools to streamline your work, learn, be aware. And if you're not able to learn and be aware fully because of your work schedule, delegate it to somebody who can do this and come and give it to you in a gist. That's the best way to do it. Don't complain that I don't have time to learn. Do it. Get somebody to do it for you and get the gist of it. Okay. And if you're not even getting the gist of it, hire people to do it for you. People build your business, so manage people. If you're good at managing that, let others do that work for you. Right? Find what works for you and adjust as needed. Again and again, I would say what works for you is very important. There is no one method which works for everybody. Choose your method rightfully and follow that method. Okay. Communication and collaboration tools. As I said, communication, collaboration, we understood, right? It's very important for effective management of self and effective productivity that we are looking out for. So what are the communication collaboration tools that we can use to effectively to facilitate our team and management? We can use Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and Zoom. Like right now, I'm connected on a Zoom platform. That Zoom platform, they are casting it on a webcast, so all of you can watch it, right? So these are the tools that connect people all over the world. It makes things so easy for you. You can sit at any place. You can work from the mountains. You can work from cities. You can choose the destination, choose the desired place that you want to work from, and always be on the go. So it's again a very important tool, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and Zoom. You can make a note of all of these if you are not aware of them. For cloud storage and file sharing, you can use Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive. Apple users can use Apple. So allows to store documents and securely share with your team members. So depending on what works for you, choose your tool and apply those tools. For content and email replies, like I said, we used to type it out actually, an email reply or the subject matter of the email. Now everything is available. You just have to put a prompt in ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot, and that entire email is ready. All you have to do is copy paste. What work took, say 15 minutes for us is now possible in few seconds. And what work required our specific skills can be done by anybody now. So we are saving on time and we are increasing our productivity. Although that should not lead you to overpower, there are times you should choose. I would ideally say there are times you should choose to write out that email by yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't know how to write a single word later because you're so accustomed to it that you're so dependent on it. When it is not there, it is leaving you frustrated. And that frustration is getting onto you and it is compromising on your quality and your quantity both. Okay. Task management tools, to-do list apps. Like we discussed, to-do list apps. Now, simple tools to keep track of your daily and ongoing tasks. For some people may prefer to do the to-do list on paper like me. Some people may prefer to do it online. So popular to-do list apps are Todoist, TickTick, Microsoft To-Do, which will keep reminding you, which will send calendars and scheduling apps like Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, Outlook Calendar. It will set the calendar for you. It will remind you time to time. It will connect your devices, your laptop, your device in your work environment, your phone, multiple phones, your business phone, your personal phone. Everything will be connected and you will be timely reminded, and you will not need a personal manager for yourself because your computer and these task management tools are becoming your personal managers. So you save on money, you save on cost, you save on time, you save on managing other people. You just have to do is feed it here once and for all. It will do the work of your reminding. Okay. Additional time management tools like time tracking tools like Toggle Track, Harvest, These will help you identify and improve your time management. Pomodoro technique apps, like the technique that I taught you, Pomodoro, there is a special app for it called Focus Keeper or Forest. You can use this. This will help you plan and channelize your 2-hour sessions with efficient breaks, constantly reminding you. You don't have to separately set alarms. It will do the work for you. Okay. Distraction is very a big time waster. So ideally, you can use website blockers, because a lot of these websites keep sending you ad, keep prompting in between here and there, and keep wasting your time. So you can use these blocking website blockers like Freedom and Cold Turkey. You can use the declutter time matrix, which is my favorite. Okay, I call it my declutter matrix. It will help you a lot. Distraction can be kept at par. Simple technique to keep distraction at par to avoid wasting your time is to just shut your phone and to maintain a work-life harmony. After you come back from a work day, just when you're taking that me time, just keep your phone aside, shut off your internet. I think half the job is done there. When you shut off your Wi-Fi and your mobile data, there is no network or there is no internet. Rather, I would say for 15 minutes, put it in airplane mode at least, and completely do not see your phone and sit by yourself and see what you're able to do, what you're able to think. It will enhance your productivity and will make you multifaceted personality, because it will enhance so many of your skills that you were unaware of. Okay, so these will lead to more awareness, self-introspection. The declutter is very important. Note taking and information management tools. You can take digital note taking apps are available. Like I said, you can make notes. I make a note on my Evernote, whatever I need to keep it in like an important section, and I want it on the go and I don't want to write it down and carry that paper with me. I will put it in OneNote, Evernote, Notion. So many digital note taking apps are available depending on the device that you're using. Mind mapping tools, again a very beautiful way of brainstorming ideas with your team, with yourself. Whenever you sit, I usually do this mind mapping when I'm sitting with myself. As I said, I like that me time. U is equal to U time for myself. What I do is I mind map. So it's a visually brainstorm tool to brainstorm ideas and organize information. Tools like Canva and Miro do that. I like to sometimes do it on Canva, sometimes I like to do it on my paper, because I feel that connection of my brain comes and flows well with the paper. So what is mind mapping, you must be thinking? Let me give you what a mind map is. Mind map is a visual thinking tool. Okay, a diagram that connects information with a central subject, goal, or idea. It's an expanded and a very diversified version of the flow chart that we used to create for ourselves. Remember, we used to create a flow chart with a start and a stop, and in between there are so many arrows, helping us in decision making. A mind map is also a similar way of doing things, but it's a little more detailed, it's a little more diversified, where we're allowing a mind to think in different directions. Okay, and there is no start, there is one start, there is no stop to it. So it's a visual thinking tool. The key advantage is it simplifies the work for you. What may feel like an overwhelming task becomes a very simplified way of doing things. The way we start to represent our information starts to closely resemble how our brain is actually working for us. Okay, now since these mind mapping combines both analytical and artistic activities, it involves our left brain and our right brain. Like I said, the magical brain and the logical brain. It involves both parts, the creative and the logic. It engages all our cognitive functions in a much more impactful way. Try to use this as much. I'm going to show you what a mind map may look like. Now, this is a mind map. I've chosen this because on declutter and managing productivity. So in the age of distraction, if I want to ask myself how to focus, okay, there are so many ways. Okay, now branch out, work in focused bursts, use a timer, 50 minutes of work, 20 minutes break, or the Pomodoro technique, whatever works for me. If I don't go in the work in focused bursts, what can I do? Get away from the computer to avoid distraction. Okay, go to an area with no internet, like I said, put a phone in airplane mode, use only a notepad and pen. So that is just one branch. Okay, like that I can take out a branch for managing your space. I can take a branch for digital detox. I can take a branch for, take time to reflect and review. I talked about reflection, the 20-20-20 method. Reflection, learning and exercise. Okay, managing my emails. What do I do first thing in the morning? How do I create habits and rituals? If I'm not able to create a habit, how do I do habit stacking where I'm already doing an existing habit and I start working on more habits? I just start stacking little time into the same habit and I start developing more habits. That's called habit stacking. So different ways that I can avoid distraction, and focus on my work. I have just made a mind map for myself. After making this mind map, I may not go for all of these. I may choose what is the best for me. And that what is best for me, I will make a separate small diagram for myself and that I will start working upon. So this mind map will help us effectively organize our thoughts, put down everything that is feeling overwhelming, and we've chalked it down into so many spheres. And it's all there in a very pictorial visual memory. Visual memory stays longer. So let's put it in the visual memory and take it further from there. Okay. Then introspection. Introspection is a very key factor. Ideally, introspect time and again. Am I happy? Okay, this is a very important question we need to ask ourselves. This will help us manage our not only manage, I would say, this will maximize our productivity. If you know that I am happy, my happiness will maximize my productivity. What are my goals? Okay, if I know my goals, I will know how to prioritize myself to achieve those goals. Right? Am I taking responsibility at the cost of my own well-being? This is a very important question that you need to ask time and again. Majority of our time is wasted in doing things for other people, like I said, which can be delegated, which can be dumped, which can be decided now when to do later. Our time goes in taking responsibility of others and we stop focusing on our own well-being, which is health, which is mental health, physical health, emotional health, and spiritual health. All of this goes for a toss. So am I taking responsibility of others at the cost of my own well-being? And if you get an answer, yes, identify in what ways are you taking responsibility for others? Is that important for you? Start choosing to say no. Start working on getting that U is equal to U time back so that you can prioritize, you can set your goals and make yourself happy. So all of these questions of introspection are interrelated with each other and each one needs importance of time. Okay, what have I given up on to accomplish here today? What have I given up on? As a chartered accountant, this may come to us like an opportunity cost. To achieve this, what is the opportunity cost? What am I giving up on? If I know that, I ask myself, do I really want to even do that? It'll help me bring more clarity. What brings me joy and when did I do this last? I think majority of you, when you ask this question to yourself, what brings me joy and when I did that last, you will say 6 months back, say 8 months back, a year back. I don't even know when I did that last, but this was what that brought me most joy when I was a child. This is the answer that my clients tell me most of the time. So you're understanding what I'm trying to tell you. If we don't ask ourselves this question time and again, we'll always be living in a nostalgic memory. We will never be able to make that our present. So let's go of the past and embrace the present and do what actually seems like joyful. So what you can do with this introspection in this question, make a joy list. What are the things that make you feel joy? Of those things that you have done in the day. Maybe if today you put a tick mark only for one of those things, tomorrow it will be 2, maybe after a few days it will be 7, maybe after a few days the entire list will be ticked, right? Or maybe that thing was not important, but it was, it was important, but it was not urgent. So you decided to do it later. So in that tick mark, instead of the tick mark, you'll put a timeline. So you, in this introspection also, use the time management matrix, use the declutter matrix to actually understand and put everything in place for yourself. Because if you're not joyful and happy, what's the point of living, right? All the work that you've done is of no use if you're not able to have fun in life. Which tasks consistently take more time? When I know that, then I will set aside time more for them. Okay? How can I streamline or delegate them effectively? This is also very important that we've already discussed. I'm going to show you the story quickly.
We all have this one life to live. fleeting shadow amongst all that exists in this vast universe. We have the ability to accomplish anything, truly anything, if we use our time wisely. Is this jar full? Is it full now? And how about now? Is the jar full now? Yes. Yeah. Now, I want you to recognize that this jar represents your life. Golf balls are the important things, your family, your friends, your health, and your passions. And the pebbles are the other important things, your car, your job, your home. And sand is everything else. It's just the small stuff. Now, if you put the sand into the jar first, you won't have room for the pebbles or the golf balls. The same is true of life. You spend all your energy and your time on the small stuff. You won't have time for all the really important things that matter to you. Pay attention to the things that are critical to your happiness. Take care of the golf balls first, the really important things. Set your priorities, because everything else is just sand. Yes.
Professor, what does the beer represent?
I'm glad you asked. It goes to show that no matter how full your life may seem to be, there's always room for a couple of beers with a friend.
Okay. So prioritizing your life, rocks, pebbles, and sand. So we all know that now when we talk about, I'm sure you understood by the video, so I'm not going to emphasize more on that video because you already got the message. But I want to tell you one thing, like I've already said, what may be important to you may not be important to somebody else. What is important to somebody else may not be important to you, right? So first identify what is sand for you, what is pebbles for you, and what is rocks for you. Not by what is sand, pebbles, and rocks for the society, not what is sand, pebbles, and rock for the entire people around you or your workspace or your peers or your family members. First identify what is your priority, okay? Put that first. And then there will be space for pebbles, and then there will be space for sand. And last, what he mentioned, beer. That I would put it like it's just your fun for life. It could be anything for anybody, right? What we actually put it in the time wasters or we put it in the dump it category. If you clearly and organized structure make way for all of these, that there need not be a dump it now category. There'll always be room for fun. There will always be room for enjoyment. There'll always be room for everything that, you may think as it's a dump it now, but it may not be dump it now. You will make space for it. So just organize your space and start prioritizing your life. I hope with this you start doing it right away. And trust me, it works miraculously when you organize it with like rocks, pebbles, and sand. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living somebody else's life. Don't waste it idealizing. Steve Jobs himself said it. And how many of us are idealizing his life or somebody else's life? Stop idealizing people's life and start working on it. Start getting into the action mode where we put commitment in, utilizing our time in the most effective manner. And just not living somebody else's life, but making a life for ourselves and living our own life, where we are the hero or the shero of our own lives.
Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kuru nandana bahushaka yanantascha buddhyo vyavasayinam.
In the Bhagavad Gita, I really love to read Bhagavad Gita. And even in the Bhagavad Gita, we've emphasized the emphasis on time is there, where Krishna advises that on this path of dharma, you should be firm and one-pointed. Otherwise, you'll be easily distracted. So focus on a single task, complete it and move on to the next. Multitasking should not be something that should be our focus, but focus on qualitatively delivering a single task in hand and focus it with so much quality that you don't have to spend more time on it. Like I always say, if you read that one line with focus and quality, that one line will be finished in that 1 second. But if we don't focus, with our mind is somewhere and we're reading somewhere else, that one line we will have to read it probably 10 times or 12 times or 100 times. I don't know how many times till we understand the message of it. So if we focus on quality, everything else taken care of. So be one-pointed and do not multitask. Roadblocks and resistance will always come your way. It's a part of life. Embrace them. Instead of getting rid of them, learn to overcome them, because all your energy goes off in getting rid of them. And then that leads to more frustration and more stressed out environment. I'd rather say, embrace these roadblocks and resistance. They are obstacles and blocks. Sometimes they are there for a divine purpose, divine intervention in your life, and allow just flow in the flow. If these roadblocks are coming, they're coming for a reason. Learn the lesson, overcome it, and get over it, so that never again you have to face that same roadblock in your life. Okay, so you're focusing on your energy in the right way, in the right manner to overcome it is the ideal way to go about it. Another video, time is precious. I'm going to let you watch this.
Mom, can I ask you something? Sure, what do I know? How much money do you earn if you work for an hour?
That's none of your business. Why do you want to know about how much money I earn? Look, I haven't got time for this. I'm busy. Go and get ready for school, quick. Go on. Jack, you come down for a minute, please. Okay, you wanted to know how much I earned earlier, and I'm really sorry for shouting. I think I earn about £80 an hour.
Okay, thanks, Mum.
Well, why do I know?
Can I have £40, please?
It was your birthday a few days ago. Why do you want more money?
Please?
No! I'm not a bank account. I'm your mom. Look, get out. I'm busy. I'm not a bank. Jack? Look, Jack, I'm sorry about earlier. I was just a bit stressed. That's all.
It's okay, Mum.
Okay. Here you go.
Thank you.
That's okay, honey. What were you going to do with the money? Jack. Jack, what on earth do you need all that money for?
I'd like to buy an hour of your time, please.
You will never find time for anything. If you want time, you must make it. That video that you watched was a message for all of you who are working too hard in their lives to gain something and achieve somewhere. I was at that pedestal of my life sometime back, and this is just a video coming out of my own personal life, where I was going through this at one point of time, and I realized, and my son made me realize this, and that's why I'm sharing it with all of you. A message that is well learned by me and implemented in action with commitment to not do this ever again, and to focus on your quality, focus. So why does that mother actually scream at the child? Is because she's having her own frustrations. And possibly she's not even giving that time for her own self. Her focus is just work. So when you maintain a work-life harmony, when you're able to focus on that me time, manage yourself, I think management around your children, your people, your workforce, everything just falls in place. And that's where my struggles and solutions became my success. And today, even though I keep so occupied and I'm always running around for things, but my child understands that. And whenever I find that time, because I give myself that time, I'm able to give him quality time where I'm just able to deliver it out of love and no complaints and no frustration on him. So this is a message for all of you who are watching this. Please take out that time for yourself so that you'll be able to spend quality time with your family, with your friends who deserve the best of you and not the worst of you. You will never find time for anything. If you want time, you must make it. My takeaway that I want to give all of you, the takeaway is find something to love, find something you truly hope for, and find something to do that makes you more productive and makes way for more productivity in your life, in all spheres of your life. The good news that I promised to get you to, you are the pilot. Time may fly, but you are the pilot and you can decide where to fly and how much you want to fly and how often you want to fly. It's all up to you. So make the most of it. And with this, I would like to say a big thank you to all of you. And thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Thank you so much for taking every insight in stride. I'm sure you've taken notes. I'm sure that you've made the most out of this session and you've qualitatively spent, I want to believe that you've qualitatively spent time in watching this entire session, making notes and committing to yourself that, I'm going to manage my hour productively. This commitment is what I'm sure you've already given to yourself. And if you've given this commitment, just write commitment in the chat box. And Danya ma'am is going to tell me if everybody is, how many commitments have I received in the chat box. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, madam, for throwing pearls of wisdom for our improving our professional life, balancing personal life as well. Now I invite CA Krishnamurthy, Secretary of Palakkad Branch, to lead the question answer session.
Good afternoon, everyone. The question answer session starts now. There are 4 questions. The first one is, how do you measure productivity? From Mohit Tech Support.
Okay, how do you measure productivity? You have to monitor your own progress from where you were to where you have reached. I think that productivity is very, it's very different for different people. And there is no standard measure of productivity. For me, just probably sitting with myself and drinking this cup of water may feel productive. I'm utilizing my time productively. But for somebody that may feel like wasting time. So productivity is to each his own. So measurement of productivity is also from where you started to where you are. From where you are to where you want to be. Start monitoring. That will come with self-reflection. If you reflect every single day, you'll be able to measure your productivity very keenly. And you will be able to see that progress. So yes, self-reflection is the measure.
Thank you. Thank you for the answer, madam. The second question is, practical tools to enrich skills should be friendly and acceptable. Give tips to make efforts to make changes in daily meetings with your clients.
To make your daily meetings with your client effective. Can you repeat the question again, Vishnu sir?
Yeah. Practical tools to enrich skills should be friendly and acceptable.
Okay.
Give tips to make efforts to make changes in daily meeting with clients.
I think daily meeting with client is a part and parcel of your life. So that should just come naturally to you. How can you use friendly and effective tools is by making your comfort space, making a nice workspace environment for yourself, keeping yourself in a right mood when you meet the client so that, you don't jeopardize your meeting with the client. So effectively, in a friendly manner, saying a no if you have to say a no to the client, in a very assertive tonality, I would put it like that. If you feel that this is not going to be possible by you and you have to take yourself through a very stressful way to accomplish that, in a very assertive tone, say that, this, I would love to do it for you, but right now the bandwidth is very tight and I'm not able to do this for you now. How about we do this later, or you come back to me later, or some other time I may be able to help you with this. So it's like you're assertively putting out a no, and the client is not going with a perception that, you know, he cannot reach out to you ever, or, you know, don't want to do things. He's understanding your space of mind. So your tonality speaks a lot about how you're putting and communicating it. Communication is important, and the way you say communicate is also very important. So yes.
Thank you. The third question is, many a times, many tasks are urgent, mainly during finalization season from July to November. How to manage them then?
By knowing that they are coming to you, right? First, organize yourself, organize your clients, organize the people who come to you, who keep giving you last minute work. You need to structure your work that if you come last minute, no matter what, I'm not going to do it for you. You need to set out rigid time zones for your own workspace and environment, and you start acknowledging them, because if you respect your time, people will respect your time also. So first, you learn to respect your time. Again, I'll come back to the same thing. Learn to say no if they're not coming timely to you. And yes, if it is actually coming in that mode of time where everybody is just rushing up with things and it is urgent, you need to organize yourself and put the other things aside for that time being, so that all your focus becomes do it now, and other things will fall in place in the decide now when to do it later category, so that you're not losing out on anything. Rather, you're working it in a very efficient manner with all your engagements and all your deadlines.
Thank you. The fourth and last, jealousy and repenting past bad experiences.
Know that they are your enemies. Okay, if you're going to hit the ego of the ego, if you're going to hit the ego of jealousy, if you're going to hit the ego of all of these, then it will keep haunting you and keep coming back to you. So know that these are all part and parcel. You take it along with you in your journey. You're taking it along. You're not giving your ego jealousy the front seat or the driver's seat, because you have the power of your life. And if they take the driving seat, they will, you know, cause harm to you and to the people around also, because they're going to drive you crazy. And, you know, so don't give it the driving seat of your, as I said, you know, you are the pilot, and you be the pilot, you be the driver of your car. Do not allow it to sit in front seat. Do not put it back in the trunk where it will die and let you also die. I would say take it along with you, but do not let it overpower you. Put it in the back seat. Okay, so there will be people who are jealous. There will be people who are, you're having your own ego, and your ego will keep pitching to you when something is, you know, when you are wanting to change or when you're wanting to get over the obstacle in life. So just make it sit in the back seat. Let it coexist with you, but let it not overpower you. That's the right way to deal with it, because the moment you say no to it, it comes back to you with more speed, with more friends. Enemy's enemy, if two enemies meet, two of your enemies meet, they become best friends. Like I always say to everybody, that, you know, two enemies are the best friends. So if you are not letting that person play the role, it will get other people also come, other emotions also come into place, other roadblocks also come. So work on that. Give it the back seat.
Okay, thank you. A few more questions are there.
Yes.
The next one is, thank you, madam. A lot of very useful insights. I would request you to suggest any books relating to productivity, please.
I feel that, okay, the Stephen Covey book itself, you can take seven habits of highly effective people. I think Stephen Covey has given the best ways to manage productivity and time and all of it. So I think one of the best books it would be that. And Finding the Purpose of Your Life, I feel Ikigai is one of my favorite books also. Habit Making, Atomic Habits could be one of the books. And personally, I don't believe much in reading, intensely into a self-help book and learning. I have learned more by just reading, whether it is a self-help book or whether it is a book. I felt that reading itself made my productivity stronger, because I was more focused, I was willing to unlearn, and I was dedicatedly spending an hour every day reading. So that habit already automatically created inside me. So whatever book you read, whether it is about time or productivity, doesn't matter. Reading itself is a very important tool to actually help you with that. Yes.
Thank you. The next one is, after working 3 to 4 hours at leisure time, which are the ways to refresh mind during office hours?
As I said, Don't even work 3 to 4 hours. Every 2 hours, take your break, take a walk, just go see what your other people are doing. Just, take a fresh breath of air. Just go out. Don't fall into habits or addictions of watching your phone or going out for a smoke or, doing things like this, because that will create more stress and more, will dampen your productivity further. Rather, just take a fresh breath of air, walk around, do some movement, it'll make you feel happy. Do something that makes you feel happy. So first, find out what makes you feel happy by spending me time every day. For a few days, when you spend that me time, you will be able to find out what makes you truly happy. When you find out that, in those 15 minutes of leisure in your office hours, just work on that. Just do what makes you happy. Now, each one's happiness is going to be different, right? So I think that is the best way to work on your leisure time. It's to each his own.
Okay. The next question is, nice session, ma'am. Thanks. General belief is productivity increases when you love what you do. How do we overcome this, as many end up doing something not to their liking?
Okay, so as I said, productivity only increases when you do what you love or love what you do. So love should be there. So first, find something that you could love. Like I said, LHD, find something to love, find something to do, and find something to hope for. If all of these are there in place, now everything you may do may not be that you love, right? But if you have done before that before, say, suppose I don't love Y, but I love X. If I have done X before Y, automatically my hormones are activated. I'm feeling very happy and I'm able to give more productivity into my Y. So everything that we do may not be what we love, but that's okay. Find out if we regularly in our day-to-day basis, find out those time zones where we can little bit of time also spend in doing what we love. That's the best part about it. That will help you.
The next question is, many of our tendencies are hardwired. How to change them?
How to change our hardwired tendency? We need to understand that change is the only thing in life. Change is the only constant of life. If we want to get something, we need to move from where we are. If I want to switch off the light, okay, I need to get up from my place and go switch on the light. I cannot sit here unless I have a remote for the light. That's a different scene altogether. Yes, and these days we all have a remote. So that remote is what is controlling us. So let not that remote control us, and get up and do it. There's only one way to do it. There is no other way. However hardwired a conditioning is, unlearning, unconditioning, reconditioning is what is going to give us that zeal. And how does the zeal come up is, find something to love. Simple as that. When you find that thing that you really want to do and you really love, you will want to do it. You will want to make a change for it. And that change will remove that hardwiring from your system. It is removed from many people and my own life. And I've been able to help remove it from so many people's life. So with guarantee, I can tell you that it's possible. If you're not able to remove that because of strong conditioning, find yourself a mentor, find yourself a coach. It's not that you need to be depressed or filled with anxiety to actually go to a mentor or a coach. To just better ourselves and become a better version of ourselves, we can go find a mentor for ourselves who will really nurture us, guide us, handhold us to do this, because we are not able to do it. Because everyone needs to do it ultimately. Yes.
I thank the participants for all the questions and wonderful answers. And over to CA Danya, Vice Chairperson, Palakkad branch.
There is a question.
Sorry, one more question is there.
I will just take that question. I read it. What to do if productivity result is dependent on outside factors? I have a beautiful answer for this. If you want, write it down. The outside factors are not in your understanding. They're not in your control. The events that are happening is not in your control. Okay. But the outcome is in your control. Okay. How can we make the outcome in your control? E plus R is equal to O. E is your event, which is fixed. It is not in our control because it's outside factor and I cannot control the people outside me. If there is a queue that I'm standing in, I cannot go and, hop in between the queue. That will not be a healthy habit for me to do, or not a right way of doing things. So I know that there is a queue. Now I cannot change that queue. What is the outcome that I want? Okay. If I want, and if I know the outcome, I can decide my response to that outcome. right? If I know that I have only this much time and this long queue, I'm not able to, I'm not able to get into at that point of time, you have to move out of that queue. That queue is not for you. Simple as that. Don't stand in that queue itself. But don't stand there and keep complaining. If you're standing in the queue, be prepared to stand in the queue. Don't complain. So you have to choose what you want. Okay? Outside factors are not in your control and it will never be in your control. But you are in your control, your emotions are in your control. At that moment, instead of being frustrated about it and cursing it and complaining about it, we are spoiling our mood, we are spoiling everybody's mood, and that is automatically taking our productivity and our energy down. So we've anyways achieved nothing out of it. Rather, I would wait for 10 minutes in peace, not complain, and that extra 10 minutes will save my next 10 minutes because I won't be frustrated. I'll be able to do my task more effectively. I hope I've given that answer.
There are no other questions pending as of now. So over to CA Danya, Vice Chairperson, Palakkad branch of SARC 5CA.
Okay. Can't hear you, ma'am. Danya ma'am, can't hear you.
Thank you, Pooja ma'am. Now I invite CA Vishnumurthy to summarize the program.
As a summary, effective time management is crucial and critical for busy chartered accountants. By prioritizing tasks, leveraging technology, and incorporating smart strategies like delegation, CS can enhance their productivity and maintain a healthier work-life balance. Remember to schedule the breaks, stay updated on industry trends, and be willing to adapt your approach. Implementing these tips will not only boost efficiency, but also contribute to a more fulfilling professional journey. This webcast provided a platform for chartered accountants to utilize their time effectively. So over to CA Danya, Vice Chairperson once again for the next.
Thank you, CA Vishnumurthy. Now I invite the Sikasa Chairman of Palakkad branch of SARC 5CA to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Danya. It has been such an honor to be part of this wonderful webcast on managing productivity CS organized by the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee ICI. On behalf of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee ICI, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, CA Pooja Bardia, for her enlightening session, and CA Dr. Anuj Goyal, Chairman, Professional Skills and Enrichment Committee, CA Sripriya Kumar, Vice Chairperson, Professional Skills Enrichment Committee. Sincere thanks to the event enablers from the Palakkad branch of SARC of ICI who enabled the webcast throughout. A wide round of applause and thanks to the organized Professional Skills Enrichment Committee ICI, our today's speaker, CA Pooja Bardia, and others made the webcast a memorable one. Finally, we would like to thank all of you make this webcast a grand success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you all.